So Disney canceled the Acolyte. Bit of a controversy going on the internet right now, and everybody's been talking about it. However, there was one person whose opinion we've all been waiting for, and that's Brett Cooper. I don't know. I saw that she made a video about it. I was kind of curious to see what she has to say. First off, just first impressions here. She's wearing Beats. Ew. Who wears Beats? That's genuinely disgusting. So can't say I approve of that. Yeah, that's really all I have to say for now.
So a few months ago, we discussed the new Disney Plus Star Wars show called The Acolyte. I'm sure you all remember. I mean, before the show had even premiered, it was proudly coined the gayest Star Wars ever by Leslie Headland, who is the showrunner and the director. And it certainly turned out to be. Now, fast forward.
By the way, that's like, okay, so I don't know what her exact quote was, but if you actually watch The Acolyte, it's not even gay. There's no women on women kissing or gay on or man on man kissing. Like, it's like, I don't even know, like, maybe she did say that, because it's like, it's kind of alluded to that, like, the witch cult is probably gay. Like, at least one couple there, maybe it's like alluded to that they're a couple. But just to be clear, there's no like overt gayness in the show. So the fact that that's even a talking point is like so unbelievably stupid, and is just like a clear sign that the culture war retardation is just in full effect here. Where like people are like fighting the woke ghosts in their minds, because it's not even a gay show, or I don't know. unless I just forgot the scene where there was like a hot lesbian sex scene. I feel like I wouldn't, by the way, just to be clear. Leslie Headland, missed your opportunity, if you ask me.
Few months to yesterday, I heard the news that the show has been completely canceled and would not be returning for a second season. And I was completely and utterly unsurprised. Before we get into this, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the comment section channel if you have not already, and of course, ring that notification bell so that you never miss one of our episodes. All right, so after
I probably won't be doing that, but I appreciate the offer.
Reading about this absolutely shocking, crazy, nobody could see it coming news, I went back to visit the comment section of the original video that I made about the Acolyte, because when
I see what she did there. It's because her channel name is the comment section. Oh my god, wow, she's so witty. That's crazy.
Episode, the show had not even been released yet. We were all just speculating. We were reading the comments. We were, listening to the interviews that Leslie gave about, the gayest show ever.
Telling me with a straight face that C-3PO is straight.
What you say to me?
And so technically, it still had a chance at being a massive success and actually being very good and normal and fine. And as I mentioned then, I actually know Leslie.
Did you? Jesus Christ, did you see that? Hold on. Maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into this, but hold on.
And so technically, it still had a chance at being a massive success and actually being very good and normal and fun.
Very good and normal. I don't know, maybe. Listen, okay, this is a conservative, like, propagandist channel, so I don't know if, like, they're implying that being gay is, like, weird and bad. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
Fine. And as I mentioned then, I actually know Leslie. I've worked with her. I think that she's brilliant and very talented in her own right. So I was hoping.
Aw, well, that's cute. Well, because that's the thing, right? Like, people will like just turn on a director when they make a bad project, right? Like, Rian Johnson, I think, is a perfect example where, like, people used to love his movies, like Looper and Brick and, like, his episodes of Breaking Bad. He directs The Last Jedi, and in the mind of some Star Wars fans, now he's, like, public enemy number one. He sucks, actually. And then they'll try to say that, like, the Knives Out movies are bad, even though they're just not, at least in my opinion. I really love them. And yeah, like, now people are doing the same thing with, like, Leslie Headland, even though she was showrunner on Russian Doll, which, to be fair, is a movie that I haven't seen, or a show that I haven't seen, but I've only ever heard good things about it. I don't know. I guess like just because she does one bad show, like it is. I would actually say toxic when fans do this, where like they do one thing that you dislike or one thing that is bad, and then there's just like this insane hate campaign that's launched towards the creator, which is, I don't know, just like a little cringe. You know what I mean? You don't want to be cringe, do you?
To be proven wrong for her sake and for the sake of audiences and Star Wars fans everywhere. But unfortunately, that was not the case. And your comments, as always, were fantastic. One of you said, I am so disappointed with Disney. I've read Star Wars fan fictions better than this dumpster fire of a show. Somebody else said, remember when being gay wasn't a trend?
I mean, wait, were these like comments that came out after the show, or were they like assuming that it was going to be bad? I don't know. I don't care.
Wasn't a trend? Yeah, that was harmonious.
I mean, but like what? Okay, again, there is not an overtly gay character in the show. I don't know what we're even talking about right now, because what is like what? Can someone explain to me what is gay? Like, what is the who are the overtly gay characters in the Acolyte, and how it's trendy to do that? Like I get it. There's the mother witch, the leader witch, and then there's this other lady, and it's like kind of implied that they're a couple, and that they're like vaguely raising the May and fucking the other one, whatever. But it's not actually explicitly told. So I feel like if they were doing that for like a trendy reason, they would be more overt about it. Like, it's just not even something worth mentioning, I feel like. You know, like you're the one when you're the one like you're the one making it like a trend. You're the one making it like a conversation topic. In reality, it's really not something anybody should be bringing up in regards to the Acolyte, because it's like it's just not even a big deal in the show. So you making it a big deal, you're doing the thing that you're saying you're supposedly don't want.
Yes.
Before the dark times.
Somebody else said, there's no way George Lucas ever wanted to hear the sentence, we've made the gayest Star Wars ever. Very true.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't make that assumption.
True. Stethkel guy, don't think I pronounced that correctly. Another one of you guys, Brian Jones, you said, when Disney...
Is this video just going to be her reading fucking comments? Okay, is this her gimmick? That she just reads comments? Damn, what the fuck? I should be doing that.
Apologizes for calling us racist. I'll think about watching their content. If they become insolvent, they become insolvent. Faith said...
You know what's so like weird about that too? Is that like somebody from Disney will say something like, yeah, man, you know, the fan base, it can get kind of it can get toxic sometimes. There are people that are, you know, racist, and like I remember they said it about the girl that played Reva in Obi-Wan, where like Ewan McGregor came out and he was like, man, all the racist comments that are being made about the actress, yeah, it's horrible and bad, and I don't like it. And then, so what a normal person does, right? Or like what I did when I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, if she's getting like racist Instagram messages, that's kind of that's sad that people shouldn't be doing that. But then when like some other people, but like other people's responses to that are, I didn't send any any racist comments towards the actress who played Reva. I just don't like the show. Are you suggesting that because I don't like the show that means that I'm a racist? And it's like, no, I don't think they ever said that. Like what? Now maybe somebody from Disney has said that if you dislike their content, then you're a racist. I doubt it, but maybe they have said that. But I remember people like explicitly reacted that way to Ewan McGregor. Like, at no point did Ewan McGregor say, yeah, if you dislike Obi-Wan, then you're a racist and you're harassing the actress that played Reva. But people would just like but people responded to his comments as if that's what he said. So I'd just be very curious to know, like, what exactly did Disney say to make people have the reaction that, oh, well, if they apologize for calling me a racist, then maybe I'll consider watching The Acolyte. I'm like, did they actually say that? I don't know. I've never seen that explicitly said.
Don't bite the fans that feed you. Yeah, and yet they...
How are they biting you? What are you even talking about? Like, this is also so stupid. Like, The Acolyte isn't a very good show. But that's all it really is. How did they bite you? By making a bad show? Like, when you're making shit like this, where it's like, you've personally wronged me in some way, The Acolyte. I think you might be in too deep into your fandom. You know what I mean? Like I'm a Marvel fan, you know what I mean? I personally think that they've kind of fallen off a bit in terms of quality. I've never come on here and been like, Kevin Feige bit my hand. Or no, wait. Yeah, I was feeding you, Kevin Feige. I was feeding you grapes, and then you bit my hand. I'm like, what are we fucking talking about? Yeah, they just made a bad show. Marvel has just made bad movies. Now, there's nothing wrong with coming on here and being like, yeah, that Marvel made bad movies. I hope that they improve. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I've been doing. But like, what the fuck? What is this? This is just like such a weird response.
They do time and time again. And then when the project fails, they turn around and go, actually, it's your fault, even though we did exactly what you did not want. When you didn't.
Did they say that? I don't know. Like, I wish you would actually like show quotes. Maybe, I don't know.
Watch. It's because of you. You're
It's time to start my second life. The farming life that I wished for.
just not there yet. You're not progressive yet. Guys, you are not ready.
What is this? Why are we talking about progressivism? I don't know. So like, I mean, this is also the thing, right? Like, we're bringing up like gayness. We're bringing up progressivism. What is even like progressive about The Acolyte? I don't know that it even had like overtly progressive messaging. I don't. Am I wrong? I'm trying to think. Like, it's kind of implied that yes, there is a lesbian relationship, but like, it wasn't even a stable one. I don't know. Like, I guess that counts, kind of. But again, it's not even overt. It's not even like expressly stated. Like it was never like actually confirmed that they were in a relationship. Like what is this comment? You're not progressive yet. Like what is there to be progressive about? And it's like, and to be honest, if your main problem with The Acolyte is that it like, even in the non like woke state that it's currently in, if you have a big hate boner for it because it maybe kind of sort of hinted at like lesbians, I mean, yeah, that is kind of weird. And like that's probably something that you should work on, unironically. I mean, I don't even know.
For the gayest Star Wars ever. Guarantee that is what they're going to say. Last one, the very worst luck said, what bothers me is the alphabet people portraying themselves as victims while they are the bullies. It irks me. Yes.
How? In what regard?
Exactly. And ironically, guys, and I've talked about this before, that was the premise of the Paramount Plus show Heathers that I did with Leslie Headland. She was unironically the showrunner and director of and wrote a ton of the episodes. Like, she was great. She was so wonderful to work with. She's so talented. She also understood how politics and how an agenda can affect a show and how it could be its demise. Like, with Heathers, she created an entire series doing the exact opposite of what Hollywood wanted. It was edgy, it was different. And in the end, she was willing to push boundaries to make something great and to start an interesting conversation. But ultimately, as you guys probably know at this point, that show was chopped up and butchered to high heaven to appease the woke elites in Hollywood. But ironically, not because the show wasn't good, but because those in charge were too afraid of triggering people. In my opinion,
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a bad thing, probably. But, like, nothing about the Acolyte, nothing about the Acolyte is overtly woke. So, like, I just, it just has nothing to do with the Acolyte. You know what I mean?
If it had seen the light of day in the way that it was intended to be released, like, I truly think it could have been an epic success. It would have been edgy, it would have stirred up controversy, but in a really good way. But alas, it pushed the boundaries way too far, and after that, I feel like Leslie was just demoralized and she fell into line. I mean, we could have predicted what would happen with the show, because unlike Heathers, the show was not edgy or new. It used the same tropes that longtime Star Wars fans are tired of seeing. Like, these people are exhausted at this point. They need some red light therapy to boost them back to life, and it have range of every kind.
Can we point out, like, by the way, can we point out just, like, how awful this commentary is? It's like the show uses the same tropes that Star Wars fans are sick of. Anyways, I'm not going to say what those tropes are or how the show utilized them or give any meaningful critique. It just did that thing. I'll just vaguely allude to it without going into it. Like, I don't even really know what she's talking about in this video. She just, like, alludes to things without showing any examples of the thing. So I'm just like, okay, this, honestly, this just feels like, I mean, it is what I said before. It just feels like weird, anti-woke, conservative propaganda. And, like, if you're already, like, in that mindset, if you're like a conservative robot that you just want to hear woke bad, you're just, like, nodding your head going, like, yes, woke bad, gays in media, too much gays in media. And it's like, she can't, and obviously she literally cannot show an example of, like, two women kissing in the Acolyte, just to be clear, because it doesn't exist. There's also not an example of two men kissing in the Acolyte. Doesn't exist. So it's like, okay, sure, yes, the Acolyte is really definitely an example of Leslie Headland falling in line. How? In what regard? She can't justify that claim. Like, she's not going to be able to prove it. Unless I'm wrong. We still have 4 more minutes into this video.
Code Cooper to save 15% off your order. Now, Star Wars fans, I cannot guarantee that will make everything better, but it'll make you feel better as you listen to this terrible article that I need to read you. Because in a New York Times article from earlier this year, where they chatted with Leslie about her big plans for the show, the headline is, Leslie Headland hopes that the Force is with the Acolyte. And basically, this entire article is her talking about how she's very nervous to take on Star Wars because of the fandom. It feels like a huge undertaking, which obviously it is. But listen to this. Headland's show, The Acolyte, will debut on Disney Plus on...
Why are we reading her quotes from, like, a year ago instead of just, like, actually talking about what's happening right now and, like, the show itself? Like, this is just weird analysis. Like, you know what this feels like? It feels like she didn't, like, this person, Brett Cooper, I don't think she even watched the show. But I think she's like, well, I got to make a video on it because it's a trending topic. So I'm just going to talk about, I'm just going to mention some vague talking points that people are going to agree with. And I'll read some articles about some things that the showrunner said. Which isn't even necessarily, like, a bad thing to do, necessarily. Like, if she just wants to talk about the way that, like, the showrunner talked about the show, I guess that's fine, but she shouldn't be making actual claims about the show if she hasn't seen it. Like, that's kind of my main issue here.
June 4th, costing roughly $180 million for 8 episodes and taking 4 years to make, it attempts 2 feats at once, pleasing old school Star Wars fans who seem unpleasable, there you go, pointing the finger at you, while telling an entirely new story, one that requires...
Is that Leslie Headland or is that the article? So, this is what makes me, like, suspicious about this, right? If there was an actual quote about, like, Leslie Headland herself saying something like that, where she's actually like pointing the fingers at the fans and shitting on them and saying that they're not pleasable, then hey, that would be a reasonable critique. But this is this is like the author of the article saying that. It's not even Leslie Headland. And by the way, that's silly, right? And or exist. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you can please Star Wars fans. You just have to make a better show. So like I agree that this is silly, but it's not Leslie Headland. And notice that she like says she said multiple times in the video, like, oh yeah, Disney shits on the fans. You know, she's reading comment sections of people being like, oh yeah, Disney's shitting on the fans. Provides 0 examples of that. But she doesn't provide an example here of this article. First time in this video where she's actually like providing proof of her claims. And it's not even anything that somebody from Disney said. Just take note of these things. You know what I mean?
Requires no prior knowledge of Star Wars and that showcases women and people of color. Wow.
Let's all laugh at an industry that never learns anything. Tee hee hee.
Now I'm no.
Okay, so here's the thing. Right? Again, that's something that the person in the article is saying. But let's just sit here and say that was like part of their part of the reasoning behind all of that. That it's like DEI hiring processes, yada yada yada. At the end of the day, is that the problem with the Acolyte? Is it not poor writing, poor direction, poor acting, right? Like, bad visual effects? Isn't that the ultimate problem with the Acolyte? Is that not really the ultimate problem with the Acolyte? Now people are going to say it's like, oh, well, because of the DEI hiring practices, well, they got bad actors. And it's like, no, they didn't. Listen, Amanda Steinberg. By the way, people say that she's bad in The Acolyte. I don't even know if I agree with that. I thought she was fine. She's good in other things. Like, she's not a bad actress. What's her name? Trinity? I forget the actress's name. She's not a bad actress. The guy who played Soul, he's not a bad actor. Granted, I haven't watched Squid Games, but I'm just assuming he's good in that. So it's like, when we look at some of the weirder performances in the show, I'm pretty sure that just comes from poor direction, if I'd be willing to take a guess. So, like, no, I don't think that, like, the DEI hiring practices led to bad performances. Like, why? Like, I just don't understand why we're being, like, bogged down in these, like, weird conversations when at the end of the day, it's just a poorly made show. And the only thing that we should really be advocating for at the end of the day is to just get better content. You know what I mean? Like, am I crazy? Am I crazy for feeling that way? I don't know. Let me know in the comments.
Real Star Wars nerd, but I'm pretty sure that Star Wars has already had, since the beginning, women and people of color. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's any.
To be fair, it's like, isn't he like the one person of color? Like, wasn't there literally a Key and Peele sketch about how Lando is the only black guy in the galaxy? Oh wait, no, to be fair, Mace Windu is also there. We also have Mace Windu. But it's also like, I don't know, like, hold on, let's just look back at this quote again. Yeah, and then it showcases women and people of color. It's like, okay, is that statement necessarily saying that there were never any women or people of color in Star Wars? Like, it's not even necessarily saying that. Like, again, like that's the thing, right? Like, do I personally think that this is like a super important thing to do? In my opinion, no. Like, just like I personally think we can calm down on a lot of this identity politics stuff. But like, at the end of the day,
women
did
and
this
people
decision, right, to cast women and people of color?
Wow.
Let's all laugh.
Is that what led to everything burning down Is that what led to the show being bad? In my opinion, no. That's not the problem with the Acolyte. It doesn't really have anything to do with the problem with the Acolyte.
But an industry that never learns anything. Tee hee hee.
Now, I'm no real Star Wars nerd, but I'm pretty sure that I don't think there's anything new or edgy there. Like, all they would have had to do is listen to the fans and read the comment section of literally one post about the show, and they could have saved 4 years of their lives and $180 million. Like, for instance...
What? Hold on. Okay, they're going to show me a post that allegedly could have saved the show. Let's see what it is.
Just by reading the Times article, I could tell it was doomed. At the same time, the Acolyte embraces what some people call new Star Wars, an era defined by diversity and expansion beyond the Skywalker saga, which started with Disney's purchase of the franchise in 2012. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, again. If it's defined by diversity, that's fine. Like, I don't even care about that. An expansion beyond the Skywalker saga, yes. I feel like we've mined the well on that enough at this point. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind expanding beyond the Skywalker saga. I feel like I've personally seen the Skywalkers enough, quite frankly. So that part's not bad. And then diversity. Okay? That's not... Diversity isn't going to make something bad. It's not the problem with the Acolyte.
Well, yeah. Also, when it all went downhill, we can connect the dots there. The new Star Wars sounds delightful. I'm sure the fans are all very, very happy.
It's beyond saving.
What are you talking... Like... You know what's a part of the new Star Wars? Andor. You know what was a part of the new Star Wars? Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2. You know what's a part of the new Star Wars? The Bad Batch. Like, why are we pretending that, like, why are we pretending that, like, you can't make, like, diverse shows that are also successful and good? Like, why are we pretending that, like, oh, diversity, it's all of a sudden going to make something bad? It's like, no. Poorly made shows are going to be bad. It's just that, like, what? It has nothing to do really with diversity at all.
It's trash!
They went on and said that Amanda Stenberg stars as a dreadlocked warrior who has a complicated relationship with the Jedi Master, played by Lee Young-jae from Squid Game in his first English-speaking role. Jodie Turner-Smith plays the lesbian leader of a regal coven of witches, while the Filipino-Canadian actor Manny Jacinto appears as a shadowy traitor. In one of her most action-oriented roles since The Matrix, Carrie-Anne Moss plays a steely Jedi named Master Indara. The Acolyte also breaks new ground behind the camera. While women have directed episodes of shows like The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan Kenobi, Headland 43 is the first to create a Star Wars series. So nothing in that paragraph instills confidence in a fan that this is going to be a good show. Like, are they good actors? What is the story about? Is the writing strong? Because all I'm seeing in their promotion is about their ethnicity and their identities and why.
What do you, like, okay, so if you want to, like, cherry pick this article, when they introduced the series, they literally introduced it as like a mystery in the High Republic. Like, they also talked about, like, what it's about. And by the way, the reason why people were interested in it was because of the description that they gave of it. Like, if you, like, you can, like, try to cherry pick, like, the, maybe some, like, you know, cringy identity politics based, you know, statements that they made. But it's not as if they didn't also talk about what the series was about in general. They did do that. Like, it's not like we all watched the first episode of The Acolyte not having any idea of what it was about. Yes, they did advertise it as a mystery, following the Jedi trying to solve a mystery in the High Republic era of Star Wars, and a lot of people were interested in it because of that. Why are you, like, acting like the? Like, this is the only statement that Disney made about the show. Oh, it's probably because you didn't watch the show. You're probably not even invested in Star Wars at all. And you're just making this video because it's the popular topic. Which is fine. I'm just correcting the record.
why that's going to make the show so great. Newsflash, usually focusing on that doesn't actually help. But wait, guys.
By the way, they didn't focus on that stuff. And I feel like I have to keep on emphasizing this. They didn't even focus on that stuff. If you actually watch the show, it's just a mediocre show. It doesn't even, like, hyper focus on identity politics. It doesn't. It's just a bad show. Why are we just talking about how it's a bad show?
It gets better. The only character in The Acolyte that previously existed anywhere in the franchise is a Jedi Master from novels named Vernestra Rowe. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Star Wars fans. Headland cast her wife Rebecca Henderson in the role, giving her a lightsaber that can transform into a whip. Leslie wanted the show to be accessible. No homework needed before watching, said Jocelyn Bio, the Ghanaian-American writer. There we go, more ethnicity. Headland added Bio to the writing team for the...
What? Jesus Christ. Like, this is just so funny that, like, she's not even going over something that Disney themselves put out. She's going over an article written by, well, I don't even remember what publication it was from. She's not even going over, like, official Disney marketing material. This is, again, like, this is just what makes me feel like this video is dishonest. It's the fact that I feel like if we actually had, like, hardcore damning material from Disney of them shitting on fans, of them, like, obsessing over wokeness, and, like, woke messaging, I feel like she would just be playing clips of Leslie Headland saying this stuff. I feel like she would be playing clips of, like, Disney marketing material. But no, the only source material that she's presented is an article that Disney didn't write.
The Acolyte, specifically because Bio was not a Star Wars devotee. So they are bringing in all of these people who do not know Star Wars, who do not care for Star Wars devotees. So they are bringing...
I actually remember this controversy, and the reality is that, again, I'm not saying that this led to the show being good, because it obviously didn't, but what actually happened here was that Leslie Headland had a bunch of writers that were massive Star Wars fans, and she got this person specifically because she wasn't a Star Wars fan, and she could provide, like, an objective opinion on the story. That was actually the background behind this. I remember it. Like, I do actually remember this controversy specifically. So I do think that she's dishonestly representing this.
Bringing in all of these people who do not know Star Wars, who do not care for Star Wars, to create the new Star Wars movie. That didn't work. Going on, this writer says,
It was actually a show, not a movie. You misspoke.
She asked me what I knew about Star Wars, and my answer was, Harrison Ford runs around space with a giant dog. Bio recalled laughing, and Leslie said, "You're hired." Ah, yes, what a perfect writer for a franchise as beloved as Star Wars. I mean, who could have guessed that less than 3 months later, this news would appear? Discussing Film posted this yesterday. The Acolyte has been canceled by Disney Plus after 1 season. And of course, guys, because they put an emphasis on all of the ethnicities of their actors, canceling the show is racist. Somebody tweeted and said, they canceled Acolyte because they couldn't stand the sight of 2 hot people of color holding hands, but I will always remember...
No, this is true. The reactions to the Acolyte cancellations are unhinged. That being said, I made a video about it on my main channel. I'll leave a link in the description of this one if you want to go check that out.
Remember.
Bruh.
Thankfully, most people in that person's comment section have common sense. One person said, I don't care about their skin color. It was bad acting and a badly written storyline. Another...
By the way, just to be clear, this entire video has been obsessing over the fact that over their skin color and over their their sexual orientation. Just to be clear, in fact, you guys are so obsessed with their sexual orientation that you're actually, like, inventing scenarios in the show.
The person said, no, it's probably due to its low ratings. Yeah, there is literally data to prove whether or not a show is successful. This is not some racially motivated attack to take down a show just because it had an Asian and a black lead and was directed by a woman. That is dumb. The premiere of the first episode did well, but the show tanked afterwards. It never recovered. Viewership was low. So yeah, maybe you should have focused more on the story and the Star Wars universe and the Star Wars legacy than the color of all of your actors' skins. The end.
They didn't do that. Again. This is like there's no good conversation about Star Wars or about media in general. It just feels like there's no good conversation. Like, this is a prime example of so there's like a coin. There's a coin of retardation. And there are two sides to the coin. You have like this side. Where is it? Where's the comment? You have this here, right? This is like insane. Like, this is somebody not even capable of understanding just the basic business realities of not being able to continue making an expensive show that doesn't get a ton of viewership. But you have Brett Cooper, who's taking an article that wasn't written by Disney and then trying to use that to like criticize a show that I don't think she's seen, by the way. Like, watching this video, I do not believe that she's actually seen the show. And so she's trying to she's coming to the conclusion that it ended up being bad because it focused on the characters' races. The show doesn't do that. It doesn't. There's no plot line where Amandla Steinberg has to fight space KKK, where she's being persecuted because she's black. That's not a thing in the show. So like she doesn't know anything about the show, and so she's just like assuming things. To be fair,
Asian and a black lead.
To be fair, even the people that have seen the show aren't really able to comprehend it.
Never recovered. Viewership was low. So yeah, maybe you should have focused more on the story and the Star Wars universe and the Star Wars legacy than the color of all of your actors' skins. The end.
Damn.
Well, guys, I hope you liked that
Snap.
video. Make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel if you
Yeah, that was bad. I don't know. It's just I really do feel like there's just no good conversations anywhere about any of this stuff. It's just that's all that conversations about Star Wars revolve around. It's literally just a series of I'm not pretending to add anything insightful or meaningful to it. I'm just I'm stepping in the piggy pen too. And I'm having fun. Hopefully you all had fun as well watching this. I don't know what I'm saying. Bye.